So last night, I guess around like 8 or something, I'd just taken a shower. I decided I wanted to do something. So I called up my friend Chris, and asked him if he wanted to go to the bar. It was a lot of fun. Like, we were playing pool, and I actually almost beat him like twice. Almost beat him. I didn't actually beat him, but I'm getting better. Yeah, we stayed there for a while. I had a couple drinks. He stuck with beer. I had a few rum and cokes. I think, like, the bar that we went to closes at 12. Once it closed, we went to another bar down the street and hung out there for a little bit. Had another drink or two, and decided to go home after a couple hours. Chris and I were walking back to our cars. I was completely fine to drive. I was not drunk. I was tipsy, yes, but my driving wasn't impaired or anything. Chris seemed fine to me. Like, he didn't seem wasted. He didn't seem like even a little drunk. He just seemed like Chris. He was staying outside of his car smoking a cigarette, and I was like, alright, drive safely, I'll talk to you later. And I got into my car and was pulling out of my parking spot. I turned around and see that Chris had gone from standing next to his car to sitting next to his car, and I was like, that's weird, maybe he's tired. Just as I'm thinking that, he falls over, and I start freaking out. I had no idea what was happening. I immediately, I got out of the car, and I was like shaking him. I was trying to wake him up. I called Larry first because I didn't want to call his girlfriend right away because I didn't want her to get upset or anything, and since Larry's his friend, I thought maybe he'd know what to do. Then Larry told me to check for a pulse, which freaked me out even more because I was like, oh shit, what if he is dead? Like, I never even thought of that. Of course, he was still alive and everything. He still had a pulse. He just passed out. He wasn't responding to anything. I poured water on him. I was shaking him. I was calling his name. He wasn't answering me at all for a good 10 minutes, maybe. After I called Larry, I actually called Courtney, his girlfriend. I didn't want to have to do that, but I got to the point where I didn't know what else to do. So I called her, and she started freaking out with me and asking, like, what happened, like, where did we go, what did we do, and all these questions. And I just told her, we went to the bar, we drank, we're going home, and he passed out. That's the bottom line, that's all that happened. While I was on the phone with Courtney, Chris decided to just suddenly get up and start running to the end of the parking garage that we were on. We were on the roof of like a 2-story parking garage. He just bolted to the edge of the parking garage, and I swear to God, I thought he was gonna jump off of it. So I'm like on the phone with Courtney, running after Chris and just yelling at him, and like telling him to stop, and he wouldn't listen to me. He just kept running and running, and I got in front of him, so I kind of like blocked his way from the I guess the railing, I guess, and he then turned to the left and went down the stairs to the lower level and ran across the street to the house he actually used to live in. Was across the street from the parking garage. He doesn't live there anymore, so he's running to a house that he does not belong to. And then he ran halfway up the fire escape before he stopped, and I finally caught up to him, and I was still on the phone with Courtney. He was still freaking out. Chris finally, like, he kind of shook his head and was, like, looking around like he didn't know what was going on. And he said, he's like, Sarah, what happened? Like, where am I? I was speechless. I had no idea. I was like, Chris, you just completely scared the hell out of me. I thought you were gonna kill yourself. And so I took his hand, and we walked back up to the cars, and I was like, look, I'm taking your keys, and you're sitting in my car until you sober up a little bit, and until I figure out what to do about this. And the entire time he said, like, no, just leave me here. Like, I'm not worth it. Like, I don't deserve your help or your sympathy or anything. And I just had to ignore everything he was saying because it was ridiculous. Like, I'm not just gonna leave him there. That's stupid. So I put him in the passenger seat of my car. I reclined the chair and just said, look, go to sleep. Just go to sleep for a little bit. And I gave him a bottle of water, and he passed out for a little bit. I called Larry again and told him that I finally got Chris to lay down. I mean, Larry was telling me to leave him there, and I was like, no, I can't leave him there. I was like, my conscience would, like, if anything happened, I would feel completely guilty for not helping. I called Courtney again, and she told me to leave him there too, and said that anything that happens is his fault. I was just sitting there in the driver's seat just thinking, and just trying to like collect myself again, I guess, because it was really scary. I don't know if it sounds scary. Maybe you would have to have been there, but I didn't. After about an hour, Courtney finally convinced me that I should just get him in the back of his car and leave him. So I did. I don't know, like, if you had seen him and if you'd seen like the look on his face and like how fast he was running to the edge of the parking garage, I didn't know what was gonna happen, and it really scared me. And I can't believe I actually left him there in his car, and thank God he called me in the morning and said he was okay. I couldn't sleep last night. I really was, I don't know. It was basically a nightmare. I guess everything's okay now except for my nerves, but I can get over that. So that was my story of last night. Yay. I don't know. That's my life for you. I just don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll just talk to everyone later. I'm gonna go lie down again. Bye.
I'm not saying that it's a piece of cake. Just take a moment to reevaluate the possibility.